And good Friday morning, everyone. The weekend is here, and we are now on our, I guess you could say, our first episode of Con-Versation, which I do like that name. Amy, I have to give you credit for coming up with that name if you're watching. Very good. But we are here with Jeff Cregg, who is an author. And what genre would you say you write in?
When I was writing it, I thought it was strictly science fiction. I've since, after watching a couple of your podcasts, didn't realize that there's another genre out there called metaphysical fiction, which I think would encompass the book I wrote. Because I was basically wanting to write a science fiction story with a spiritual, even religious, very religious aspects to it. And I didn't realize that the term metaphysical fiction was something that existed. So I guess that would encompass both of those genres.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate the metaphysical. Now, can you tell us something a little bit about your book without giving away any spoilers or anything like that?
Sure. It's the title of it is an emergent truth. I don't know if you've seen it. It's about a murder mystery that surrounds artificial intelligence. It's fiction. It takes place modern day, since AI is prominent in it. It's a murder mystery. The narrator is the main character. He basically goes on a journey to find out who murdered the creator of the AI program. You can take poetic license to an extent that suits your purposes for the book. And the creator of this AI in this book it's a quantum computer. Not that I don't know if they actually exist, but the premise there is that they've finally come up with a machine that has the computing horsepower to actually become a conscious entity. And mysteriously, though, the creator of it is murdered, and one of his friends goes on he's asked to go find out what happened and track down the perpetrators of this. He goes on a journey to find out not only who killed the creator of it, but he goes on a personal journey as well. And yes. It's more of a tale of his metamorphosis than it is delving into all the intricacies of AI. But AI still plays a pivotal role in the plot line.
Now, what inspired you to start writing the science fiction or metaphysical science fiction? As you can see, I'm a baby boomer. I'm a late baby boomer. When I was 8 years old, the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey, I saw that in the first run. I know I'm showing my age. And some people say that the character Hal, the conscious computer in that movie, not only captivated the world of science fiction at the time, but me personally. And I remember coming home from that movie thinking, did I just watch something that was filmed really in outer space? Because Stanley Kubrick did such a good job on that as far as technique and special effects. It didn't dawn on me until several days later that was shot in a studio
and computers of that generation are decades in the future. They just simply don't exist. And so that was sort of the eye-opening experience for me that got me interested in science fiction. I think I read the book 2001 when I was 10 or 11, and it's if you've read that book, it's kind of deep. I mean, it's what Clark gets into is the whole thing about wormholes in space and conscious AI. He was well ahead of his time, but that left an impression on me from an early age. And I remember when I was in high school, I thought, that is such a rich, fertile genre to explore. And I thought, man, at some point before I die, I hope I actually can concoct a plot line in my head and come up with something that's worthy of putting on pen and paper. And finally, about 5-6 years ago, I was able to. I don't even know how the plot got hatched, but it just, I was thinking about it always in the back of my mind. And then I finally just sat down. Our friend CJ Peterson, I think she's the one who says that there's two kinds of writers, pantsers and what's the other one?
Planners.
Planners, yeah. So I guess I'm a planner. I could not start writing this by the seat of my pants. I had to sit down and write bullet point notes on a notepad. Actually, I did it in a Word doc. But once I fleshed out the plot, then it was just a matter of sitting down and filling in the words. And never having done anything like that, it took a long time. It was years before I actually got the entire manuscript, first round of it, ready to actually have someone else look at it.
That's kind of interesting because you said that was like one of the first books that you read and one of the first movies that you saw. And then for me, I think the first book that I read was Treasure Island. And I've always been fascinated with the fantasy and the pirates and the sword fights and stuff like that. And that's how I went with my first books. So it's interesting how that can expand the way you think, I guess.
Yeah. And just saying what is possible with the technology that we have, back in the 60s, that was the thing. 2001 comes out. A few months later, Apollo 8 actually orbits the moon. A year after that, people are on the moon. I thought, man, by the time I'm 35, 40 years old, who knows? I mean, there will have colonies on Mars. The sky was the limit back then. Of course, reality got in the way of all that. But it was a great time to be a kid, as far as, at least we had color TV at that time. And no cell phones to distract us. But like I said, the imagination could just run wild at that point.
Definitely. It's like, I mean, I hate to say it, but you see everybody with their faces and their phones. And it's like, man, I just remember playing out in the streets, didn't have a care in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. The good old days, my mom would clothespin a beach towel on my back and play Superman jumping off the front porch, Back in the original 1950s George Reeves version of The Adventures of Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Really dating myself.
I'm trying not to here. That's what's scary. Now, so definitely you said you're a planner.
Yeah.
Do you prefer writing at home in like pure silence, or do you like going out places to write? Or
I have to be in the cone of silence. If I can't have anything, no ambient music, I've got to go in, close the door, turn it all off, and just hammer it out. I guess I'm a little. Well, my wife would probably say I'm quite a bit ADD. And anything, squirrel. I can't be bothered by external distractions. It's hard to keep a single thread going and get it on the paper the way you want it while it's still fresh in your mind. So.
Now, I did share where you can get your books on Amazon and, of course, your website. Mm-hmm. Is there a way for people to get a signed copy from you?
Yeah, I have a few copies here at home. If you want, you can get in touch with me. I can autograph it and send it to you. Or
I don't. There again, I'm new to this game. I don't know what the standard procedure is for new author. Is that basically we have authors' copies and we will take requests, that kind of thing?
A lot of it is also going to conventions where
Yeah,
you purchase the books and have them there to sign for people.
right. In fact, I think CJ Peterson has me signed up to go to, I think it's Comic-Con in late August in Conroe. I think that's where I'll be there. So I'll have some books there.
So you'll be at Comic Conroe,
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I couldn't remember the exact name of it.
and that is the last weekend of August. People, that's actually an event on our page. So if you want to go check that out,
Yeah.
I would definitely suggest it. And Jeff Cregg will be there, so that's always a good thing. You'll have many authors there, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. This is a whole new world for me as far as authorship. I mean, I've been a science fiction fan basically all my life, so it'll be interesting to see now having something, a body of work to bring to the table myself. It'll be interesting to see what kind of dynamics that are going on there. So I'm really looking forward to it.
A little bit of an excitement, you would say.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I'm semi-retired, so I definitely finally have the time to do these kinds of things. So it's quite a blessing actually that I have the resources and the time to be able to do all this.
It takes a lot, I will say. It does take a lot. A lot of planning, a lot of scheduling.
Yeah.
And once you get the first one under your belt, you're going to be like, okay, when's my next one?
I hope so. Yeah.
They can be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I don't have the costumes or the uniforms and that kind of thing. If I show up in jeans and a t-shirt, I guess I'll be okay. Right?
You should be good.
Good.
For sure.
Yeah.
And with all that, I know Comic Conroe, are there any other plans? Are you going to be working on a sequel or?
I'm kicking around I've got a lot of ideas. The question is, how do I boil it down to getting it, coherent and a good, decent follow on? Because I don't want to, I want to maintain the level of energy and intrigue in any kind of sequel. But, so many movies that are drawn, sequel movies from good books, it's almost like the kiss of death. And if it's not done right, you can really destroy your own franchise. So I got to make sure that I have something that's viable. And now that a few people have actually read it and given me feedback on it, I've got a lot more resources to get feedback from. So I'm looking forward to doing that.
Now, would you say that it's going to be a sequel, or would you say that it's going to be more of a standalone?
I would like to write it as a sequel because I think the main character in this book has a lot of potential to explore after he goes through his transformation in this book. And I think that there's a lot of potential there that can be exploited. I really haven't given much thought to, I haven't been inspired to come up with another whole new not genre, but a whole new plot line or storyline. So I'm still waiting for the inspiration on that. We'll see. Yeah.
When it comes, it comes. That's all I can say. Because when you start writing, for me anyway, I just start writing. Everything's blocked out. I could have the TV on, and it is literally just blocked out.
So you're a pantser?
Yes. I have actually written outlines before and just ripped them up because the characters went a completely different way than I had planned.
Well, to each his own. But I admire that you can sit down and just let it stream of consciousness, right? Just let it flow, right?
Oh, it can be hectic at times, but definitely fun.
The problem with that is my brain gets ahead of my fingers and I can't get it on the paper fast enough to keep that thought in the forefront of my thinking. That's why I'd rather just, I want to just bullet point this out so that I can come back to it and flesh it out better later.
Yeah. I think my fingers work a little bit faster than my brain at times, because it's like there was one time I actually had to go back and reread what I wrote because it just went so fast, and it's like, okay, this happened.
Yeah, yeah. It's a whole new way to look at life as far as, because I for 30 years I spent in the oil and gas industry writing software. So that served as a pretty big inspiration on the whole AI aspect of the plot of this book. And I thought, there's so much, that goes on in the development of software that the general public really is unaware of. And there's a lot of limitations and a lot of potential out there that software can have that's good and bad. So back before I retired, I would come home, and the last thing I wanted to do was get back on a computer. But once I got the idea for the plot of my book, it was easier to come home, rest a little bit, eat dinner, and then go back upstairs and put in another hour, an hour and a half. But that's about the maximum I could do on a daily basis, no more than an hour and a half at night.
Now I'm going to give a little bit of the craziness away here. I have actually caught myself doing this, being in line like at a Starbucks and just sitting there. And it's almost like I'm talking to the characters, even out loud. Have you ever done anything like that?
I can't say that I've actually done it verbally. What I do is I'll have a scene in my head where I want to write it and I get it down, and I'll go back and reread it. And actually, I found that in the version of Microsoft Word that I have, it has a read aloud function, which was, if you're a writer, that is just a excellent editing tool that you can go back, because I'll write a paragraph, go back and hit read aloud, and that was like, man, okay, it's not my voice, it's someone else reading it. It's like, okay, I'll know it's good, because if it sounds good from the way that Word reproduces it, then that is, I guess, my version of you reading it to yourself. Yeah, I don't like the sound of my own voice.
Have you thought about putting this on audiobook? Have you looked into that at all?
I have not looked into it, but I'm sure CJ can point me in the right direction on how to do that. I've been, and with, I was talking to you earlier about all the connections you have. I guess finding a voice actor isn't that difficult to do.
Usually through ACX, you can get quite a bit through Amazon.
Yeah.
But the only thing, like I said, with ACX and Amazon, they actually set the prices. You have nothing to do with that. So
wow. So you kind of cede a little control to them.
Yes. Yeah. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah. Interesting.
But where can people find you, like through Facebook or websites?
I have a Gab. I have a Parler. I was on Facebook, but I kind of got off of that. I have an author, Jeff Cregg, at square.site, I think is that's my, there it is, authorjeffcregg.square.site. That's where my homepage is. I've got all the links to the Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, where you can actually order the book. Haven't thought much about doing a blog or anything like that yet. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. But if I do, I guess that would be the launching point to do it, to create it from there. But like I said, I'm still a newbie at all this, and I'm learning all the ropes. And I depend on people like you and CJ to point me the way.
Well, I will definitely see you at Comic-Con. I don't know who else is going to be there. But for everybody else, our show will be on Tuesday at 11 a.m. We're having another ticket giveaway for Terror Isle down in Texas City, their escape room. Oh. So another 2 tickets being given away next Tuesday. And then after that, I'll be at Comic Palooza. And actually, Tuesday will be our 50th episode for this season. So wow. We'll figure out if we're going to do something for... I'm pretty sure we're going to hit 100. We might do a little contest saying, how many episodes will we have by the end of the year? Without going over. Let you guess. But everyone, Jeff Cregg, go check out his books. We have the link for Amazon. We have the link to his website. Go check him out. It can be an exciting story. But until Tuesday, everyone,